Hello, and welcome to the Soulful Self-Development Podcast. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Hannah Sutherland. I'm a lover of all things self-care, personal development, and spirituality. I have created this podcast to help you grow into the most soulful version of yourself while creating more joy, magic, and purpose in your everyday life. If you're ready to live a life so full, then you, my friend, have come to the right place. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and now let's dive deep. Hello, you beautiful souls, and welcome back to another episode of the Soulful Self-Development Podcast. Today's episode, I'm going to be talking all about triggers, what they are, and how you can use them to your advantage. I want to start out by saying that I am not a medical professional. I'm not a licensed therapist or anything of that sort, but I have been noticing this a lot lately, not only within myself, but also within people around me. And I know that because there has been so much trauma and hurt in this world, that each and every one of us has our own wounds that we need to heal for ourselves. Because when we don't heal these emotional wounds, then we have triggers. And these things that hurt us, that make us feel triggered, are going to continue to come up over and over and over again until we do the work to heal these wounds for ourselves. So, what is a trigger? A trigger is a stimulus that draws out a reaction from someone. It is something that causes people to feel upset and frightened because it reminds them of something in their past. I like to think of triggers as something that you need to heal. It is an emotional wound, and these wounds are difficult because it's not like a physical wound that we have in our body where our body will just heal that wound. We actually have to make a conscious effort to decide that we want to heal these wounds and put the work in order to heal them. So it can take a lot of work. And the reason that it's so important that we learn to not only recognize these triggers that we have, but also to take action steps towards healing them for ourselves is because they actually affect more than just you. They have an effect on all the people around you that you interact with, because for the most part, we end up projecting these wounds onto others. So if somebody says something that triggers you, instead of realizing that there's something inside of you that you need to heal, you often take it out on them, being angry at them for whatever they said, maybe saying hurtful things to them because you feel hurt, but in reality, that person did nothing to hurt you. What they said is just a reminder to you that you have this wound inside that you need to heal. And it's not fair that we're projecting this hurt onto other people, because people carry that around with them. And that's part of the reason why this world is so messed up, because hurt people hurt people. And everybody is hurting. And we just keep being angry and putting more hurt on others, and it's making it worse. You have to be able to stop and realize that you have to do healing for yourself and to stop projecting those hurt onto other people. That's the only way that we're going to make a difference in this world. I'm going to share an example of something that happened to me recently. It was a big reason as to why I actually felt inspired to do this episode, and it also showed me a trigger of my own. So a while ago, somebody or a few people were upset about something that I had said on my podcast. I received a bunch of messages and phone calls, and there was a whole lot of drama. And they actually didn't even listen to what I said. They just heard one little blimp of what I said and decided that I was talking about them. And it was taken way out of context and blown way out of proportion. And it caused a lot of stress in my life trying to sort this all out and deal with it, and people were projecting their trauma onto me. And I realized that it wasn't me, just something that I said had triggered them. And obviously, they still have wounds that they need to heal surrounding this topic that I was talking about. And I didn't really do anything wrong. I was just sharing my own experiences, and I have every right to do so. But also, I realized that this kind of pulled out a trigger in me, and it's something that I have noticed in myself for a long time, something that always bothers me. Like, I know that my energy bothers people, and it used to make me really upset because I just want to create so much love and light in this world. And yet some people just really, I don't know if they just take me the wrong way, or they're just so bothered by me. And sometimes I get a lot of I can feel the negativity that people send towards me. And I had this realization the other day. I was lying in bed and I just said, you know what? I should take this as an honor. The reason that people are so bothered by my energy it's not because I'm annoying. It's not because I'm too much. I'm not aggressive or anything like that. It's because I'm so powerful, and people are intimidated by my powerful presence. And it's something in my own journey that I have to learn to accept that I am powerful and learn to use my power. I'm going to use my power for good. I would never use it for harm. That's not who I am. But just claiming that I have that power. And it was such a big moment for me, just a big realization, because I have had issues in the past where I'm just bothered by how much I bother people, because that's not what I want. And I would just love to create peace on earth. So the fact that my own energy is so bothering to people makes me upset, because that's like the opposite reaction of what I'm trying to get. But also because I am such a seer, I am such a visionary, and I can just see people's true colors. I can see their intentions. I can see them for who they really are. And when people don't want to be seen, it bothers them that I can see them. And I think that people see that about me, even if it's subconsciously. That's why they're so bothered by me, because I am powerful. And instead of feeling bad about that or letting how people feel about me get to me and bring me down, I'm claiming that power. And this is why I think it is so powerful to be able to recognize these triggers and what is that emotional wound behind it, and to claim your power back. Because when we have these wounds, we're just giving the power to somebody else. We're just letting this hurt take over our feelings and our emotions and our lives. And we need to do something about that. We need to change that. And I know that I am lucky that I have such a gift for being able to see these patterns. And I know that it's never about me, but people often project their insecurities onto others. They are so hurt, and hurt people, and it's sad, but it is 100% what is wrong with this world. But it is also something that we can all do our part to fix. When we can all take responsibility for these wounds that we have and recognize them, we are giving ourselves that power to be able to fix them. And the first step to fixing any problem is admitting that there is a problem there to fix. So if you are even listening to this podcast, then you are on the right path to healing these wounds. There are so many different kinds of triggers, and you can have trigger from any kind of trauma that you've had in your life. So if you've had some severe trauma, your triggers are probably a lot bigger, but even just minor trauma can also create triggers if you haven't taken the time to heal these wounds for yourself. Some things that can be common triggers, things that can commonly trigger people, is like rejection, having your beliefs challenged, any type of insecurity, especially if you were like bullied as a child for something and you still feel very insecure about that. When that comes up, that's going to be an emotional wound. Any place where you feel like maybe you're not good enough or something like that. This can also be any kind of abuse that you've had in your life. That's going to cause triggers if you haven't healed those wounds. Literally any kind of trauma that you have had in your life can cause you to have a trigger. And you can also have more than one trigger. You can be triggered by a whole number of things if you're not healing these wounds for yourself. And I just want you to know that it's not always easy when you're doing this healing work. Trust me, I've been there. I've had to heal through some trauma that I've had in my life, and it's going to have its ups and downs. Sometimes it's going to suck because when it comes to healing anything emotional, what's coming is going, but you have to feel that emotion. Sometimes you have to relive that experience that caused you trauma, and you don't have to do it in the same way that when it happened to you, but just reliving it and going through that experience and claiming back your power and choosing to heal from that, whatever that bad thing is that happened to you. And it might be scary and it might be overwhelming, but I promise you, you are not alone in this, because there are so many people out there, so many amazing, wonderful people that have dedicated their lives to helping other people heal, especially when it comes to wounds like this. So this can be in a form of a therapist, a psychologist, a coach, a mentor, and any kind of energy healing or psychotherapy, hypnotherapy. There is so many different ways that you can look into if you are looking to heal. And there are so many amazing people out there that literally dedicate their lives to this because they want to help, and they are out there and they will help you through it, because it's not necessarily something you should do alone. It's a lot easier to heal when somebody is there helping you, supporting you, knowing that you have somebody to lean on, because there might be days that are really tough and you need someone to help you stand, and that is okay. And that's part of what makes us stronger, is knowing that we have people there that are always willing to help us grow. And then you come out stronger on the other side as well. I want to go over a few ways to help you deal with triggers, so that if you want to start healing today, here are a few steps that you can take. Number one is work with a professional. Like I just mentioned, there are so many different ways that you can get help from so many amazing people who want to help you. So look into getting a therapist, psychologist, hypnotherapy, trauma counselors, coaches, so many people in those professions that can help you. Number two is to understand and label your emotions and feelings. When you have these big feelings come up for you, try and recognize what that feeling is and realize why you feel that way. It helps to not let those feelings and emotions over-consume you, and it also helps to be more self-aware as to why you're feeling the way that you do. And also it helps so that you're not projecting those feelings onto others. All of your feelings are valid. There is a reason why you feel that way, and you are 100% validated in your feelings. But it's important to be able to label them, because that's how you can move past those feelings and claim your power over those emotions and decide to heal and grow and move forward, so that those things aren't holding you back. Number three is to develop a grounding practice. Grounding truly has so many benefits, And I believe that everybody should have some kind of grounding practice. When we ground our energy, it helps to let go of a lot of the energy that just hangs out in our energetic fields that we don't need, a lot of negative energy. And when we ground ourselves, we are sending all of that excess energy into the earth, and the earth will actually absorb those vibrations for us. It can help you to feel more present, calm, and connected to your energy, which is what matters most. Not to mention, it also has so many health advantages, including lowering the risk of cancer and heart disease. I actually recently saw a video and it was talking about the effects of grounding, and they used animals as an example. They look at animals that live in nature and that they are constantly being grounded. Those animals live on the ground and they don't have any of these diseases. And they compared it to pets that live inside. These animals that aren't being grounded, they're having all types of cancer and heart disease and all these terrible things that they're not seeing in wild animals. And it's linked to not being grounded. And the same goes for humans because we are just animals. So the fact that we don't spend nearly as much time outside as we probably should, and we're not actually connecting to the earth, you have to put your bare feet on the ground because we wear shoes outside and most shoes are made out of rubber. Rubber is an insulator and it stops our vibrations from going into the earth. So to actually take your bare feet and put them on the ground has such a powerful effect. And you don't have to do it for very long, just a couple minutes, and you will see results. But also, I live in Canada and it is cold here for most of the year, and there is snow on the ground, and that makes it hard to put your feet on the ground. There are other ways that you can ground yourself too, like in certain meditations. Just imagine that you have roots growing from the bottom of your spine or the bottom of your feet and growing all the way deep into the earth, and then send all the energy that you don't need go through your body. I like to start at the top of my head and go all the way down and just send those vibrations down into those roots, and the earth will absorb that for you. Your mind's eye is very powerful, so even if you cannot put your feet physically on the ground, just being able to do that with your mind's eye also is very grounding. You can do other things too, like make sure that you eat lots of root vegetables and to maybe have some like house plants that you take care of to play in the dirt. Any kind of gardening, things like that is also very grounding. So look into having a grounding practice, especially if you are somebody that spends a lot of time in your head. I personally am a super airhead, and it can be very negative, especially when you're dealing with emotional trauma, because you just keep thinking about all these things and you get in these loops in your head and you're spending all this energy up in the air and you can be going in circles, and to just be touched back down to the ground can just be so helpful to get yourself out of those cycles, and it is so beneficial to you in so many ways. So if grounding isn't something that you do, please look into that. Number 4 is to establish healthy boundaries. We live in a society where we're just all very overstimulated and overworked, and I think that we all feel there are so many things that we must do in a day or in a week or in a year or whatever it is. But one of the best things that you can do for yourself, especially if you're on a healing journey, is to learn to set those healthy boundaries. Stop spending time with people who are draining your energy. If you hang out with somebody and you feel worse after you hang out with them, stop hanging out with that person. It is not doing you any benefits. There are 7 billion people in the world. You can find other people to hang out with. And people that cause a lot of drama in your life, you don't want that. That's just more stress. And another big thing is to do what I like to call a social media detox. Not only just spending less time on social media altogether, but go through and clean out your social media. Unfollow people, unadd people, go through your list of people, and anybody that makes you feel upset, anybody that triggers you, anybody that makes you feel insecure, unfollow them. You don't need to follow anybody. Don't feel like you have to follow somebody because you knew them in the first grade and you're obligated to follow their life all the way through. Nope. If this person is triggering you, let it go. Cut the cords. Move on. Don't give them any more of your energy because you only have so much energy in a day. And this is why healthy boundaries are so important, because it's putting up those barricades of where you don't want to send that energy and keeping the energy in the places that you want it and need it for yourself, especially taking care of yourself first, especially your mental health and emotional needs, to know that you can say no to people, and you will actually enjoy the interactions that you have with people more when you have these boundaries set. If you are spreading yourself thin, always saying yes, always doing things that you maybe don't want to do, you're going to have you're more likely to have a negative time because you're dreading it, or you're so tired, exhausted, and you need rest. But when you can say no, I don't want to do that, I don't need to do that, and then once in a while you do say yes and you go out and you do whatever, do the thing, you're going to have a way better time because you're going to feel more rested and you're going to enjoy spending time with your friends or whatever it is. But if you are overexerted, you're going to be miserable, and then you pass that on to other people, and then it doesn't help anyone. So set those healthy boundaries for yourself because it's going to help you stay happier and healthier, and it will help you to be less triggered. Number 5 is meditation. This goes along with grounding. Meditation is, again, something that I think everybody should do. It is so good for you. There are so many benefits to meditating. And when you meditate, you just get to be so much better at just being with yourself. It makes it a lot easier to notice those feelings and emotions that come up. And you're also able to listen to your intuition more clearly. And it can be really, really, really helpful tool in healing. I personally have used meditation to help me heal through a lot of my own trauma that I went through. I did this powerful meditation, and it's like a visualization that you're in a movie theater and you watch on the screen the traumatic event that happened to you, so that you're not like in the event but witnessing the event from the outside, and to relive it in order to heal it. And it was scary, I'm not gonna lie. I watched this terrible thing that happened to me as a child, and it was something that I wasn't even really aware of, but in a way I was aware, and it was something that came up and I needed to heal it. And was it scary? Yes. Do I regret it? No, absolutely not. It was so powerful, and your mind's eye is truly, truly, truly such a wonderful, amazing tool that we need to take advantage of in our everyday lives, but especially when it comes to healing. And this is why meditation is so important, because it's essentially how we exercise and use that muscle. And when you meditate, it can help you to feel a lot more calm and help you to be a lot more understanding, especially towards yourself. And there are so many ways that you can meditate. Meditation can be from anything from going for a walk by yourself in nature, not listening to music or a podcast, but just being present with yourself, observing nature, being one with nature, just like, feeling the sun on your face, but being present in the moment, not letting your mind wander about the 7 million things that you have to do that day, or what you said in a conversation you wish you would have said it differently, but just being very present and just enjoying your walk. That is a form of meditation. Painting is another thing, or any form of art, wherever your outlet is for art, when you're just you and the art and you're not thinking about things, you're just being one with the art, that is a form of meditation. Sometimes I just feel like coloring or painting and just being there with me and the paints, that is meditating. But also you can meditate just sitting in silence, laying in silence, standing in silence, however, but you don't have to do it in silence. Sometimes I listen to meditative music while I meditate. Sometimes I will follow guided meditations, and sometimes I will just be silent, sit there with myself and my own thoughts and feelings, and to create that relationship with yourself, because it's so important to be good with yourself. You can't really expect yourself to be good in relationships with other people if you're not even good with yourself. And meditation is such a key part of that relationship that you have with yourself. Being able to tune into your own energy and listen to your wants and needs. Your body will tell you, I need more exercise, I need less exercise, I need more water, I need better food, whatever it is. And when you get into that place, into that mindset, and you're just sitting with yourself, you're going to have these intuitive downloads, these intuitive feelings of things that you can do for yourself to make yourself better. Number 6 is to name and identify your trigger and recognize the reaction that comes up for you when you are triggered. This not only helps you to heal that trigger, but it also stops you from projecting it onto other people. So if there's something that continuously triggers you, continuously makes you upset, to be able to label that and then find the root of why it is triggering you, that is going to be so powerful. And this might be something that you need help with. This might be where a therapist or something comes in and helps you to identify these triggers. But if you can you can do this on your own as well. And just start to notice the patterns of things that make you upset. Is it every time somebody talks about, whatever it is, then you feel upset? Well, then that's probably a root of where this trigger is coming from. And then you can realize that the next time you're around somebody and they talk about this topic, bring up this topic that triggers you, remind yourself that it's not that person that's hurting you. It's that you already have this wound. And for the most part, they probably don't know, right? Triggers are all internal. Most people don't know what you've been through in your life unless you're very open and choose to share that. But even then, how do you know that they listened? So being able to name that, recognize that, and see your reaction when you have these triggers, it can really help you so that it'll cause less fights and drama in your life when you can stop reacting at other people for something that's triggering you, because it's not really their fault. And people are free to live their lives and do whatever makes them happy. And we can't punish somebody for a trigger that we have within ourselves, because that's not really fair. And we don't want to send negative energy or hate towards anyone. And if that is something that you do, there is a lot of healing that needs to be done, because at the end of the day, love is literally the answer to everything. And if you're not sending out love and healing to people, you need love and healing for yourself, I guess, is the only way that I can put that. But if you are on a healing journey and you are trying to take the next steps and to make yourself a better person, to help make this world a better place, I just want you to know that I am sending you so much love and so much healing, and I wish the best for you on your journey. And I am so proud of you to be able to work on yourself and to take those next steps, because it can be scary and it's a big deal to go from someone that's always being hurt and triggered to claiming that power back and deciding that you want to heal and deciding that you want to take back your power and not let these emotions continue to take over your life, that's a big deal. And I'm just sending you love and hugs because I am so proud of you, and you should be very proud of yourself. And if you are even listening to this podcast, props to you because you are on your way to a healing journey. And just a reminder that you do not have to do this alone. You can always feel free to reach out to me. I have been there. Trust me, I have had to do a lot of healing in my own journey. So I am very understanding when it comes to things like this. If you just need somebody to give you a little reassurance. But also there are many professionals out there that will help you with this. They are trained to help you with triggers and healing those emotional wounds. Thank you so much for tuning in today, guys. I love you all so much, and your support means so much to me. I hope you guys have the best day, and we'll see you next time. Bye! Thank you so much for tuning in today and making Soulful Self-Development possible. I am grateful for each and every one of you. If you enjoyed the show today, make sure you rate, review, and subscribe. Stay tuned for new episodes coming out every Wednesday. You can connect with me on social media at soulful.self.development. I would absolutely love to hear from you. You guys make my heart so full. See you next time.